All right. We are live. Excuse me. We are live on Facebook. Elasa, I'll pull you up in just a minute after I make some opening comments and we play a little intro so I can share it out to the network. So give me 1 minute and 23 seconds and I'll be right back with you. I apologize, everybody, for taking me so long to get my shift together this morning, but we're dealing with technological difficulties. We have an exciting show to start the morning off, and I just want to make a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming in and being a part of this portal, this vortex we call Soulogy, which is just a small mirror of the universe, reflecting the universe, adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration at all times. And we appreciate your love and support and contributions. And if these shows resonate with you, until we make the jump, which is not going to be too much longer, I don't think, to give us over these algorithms at Facebook and even on YouTube, where we're being suppressed, if you could share to your page or one group, that'd be great. We have an exciting show we're going to start the day with. We've got 2 shows today, and then Morgan and I are going on a honeymoon. And we have a new friend, a beloved sister by the name of Elasa Tiernan. And let me give you a little background on her. She's got a fairly long bio. I'm going to put it in the content of the live. And also want to give a shout out to Rebecca Williams and Eon Boldy for helping me so much, helping us so much in the Soulogy group. Couldn't do anything without you. Elasa has earned a master's degree in health science with focus in occupational therapy. She furthered her Western medicine education in classical hatha yoga, yogic lifestyle, ashram living, gardening, organic farms, Reiki 1 through 5, and many, many other things. She has a passion to empower others with tools for sovereignty, awakening, ascension, wholeness, and soul self-care has woven into her path over 20 years of healing art centers and soul ascension education to other healing art practitioners. Currently, she's dedicated to launching several levels of Akashic Soul app and Pro app to those who will make best use of it. This creation has a goal of empowering as many as possible with the tool that is able to dial into the exact records of the Akash ether connected to persons' intentions and goals of awakening. This sounds like some of the new technology that's going to be coming out as we move deeper and deeper into the new earth. It's not coming, it's here. But let's go ahead and get Elasa on and get on with this show. Hello, everybody. It's good to see all you here. Let's see. Here she is. All right. Yeah, we're having a honeymoon. She doesn't know it yet. We're gonna try to make a baby. I'm kidding. Okay, let's see, Elasa. I'm gonna send you a little note to start your video. There you are. You're sideways, but we can see you. There you go. Much better.
Okay.
You're using your phone?
I am. I'm using my phone.
You know, you can set it on something soft. That's what I usually do. If I have to plug it in, I just set it on like a little pillow or a cloth, and that way I don't have to hold it. But that's, whatever you want to do. Right
yeah,
on.
it's part of the technical difficulties this morning.
Yeah.
Right as I go to touch it, decides to come off on here.
Well, I'm having the same thing happen over here to a degree. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm happy to have you on here. I'm happy to have you on here. You have like a long lineage of experience in like the mainstream stuff, but also I can tell you're getting it from the real mainstream as well. The infinite intelligence mainline, and also the mainstream research and studies and that type of thing.
I am. And so it began the journey definitely in the mainstream and getting to get an eye what was going on in medicine, and then kind of politely bowing out into yoga and meditation, which was the key. And upon sitting in that meditation station 20 years ago, I heard I was supposed to teach ascension, and I said, I have no idea what that means. And so that's began the journey of dialing into the light. And the most yummy and amazing tool that I found to this day in this now moment is understanding how to clean out our shed, how to clean out our etherical shed in the ether and the Akash. And that's been the theme for quite a while, but we're getting somewhere. Like you said, we're about to launch. We're about to launch up, is what the levitation of consciousness has shown me this morning, is that the more we clean out the shed, the more we become aware of what's in the Akash, what's in the space of ourselves, of the ether, and we decide to either keep it there or to untangle and wind it, and then catapult into a levitated position of our consciousness. Learning how to levitate consciousness has been the message all this morning.
Levitate consciousness.
How are we going to respond when things happen? Are we going to levitate our point of view? And maybe we're not ready for levitation yet, levitation of rocks, levitation of our body. But maybe we can start to see things in a higher point of view, is what Spirit's talking to me about. And the more that
absolutely. I mean, there's no question that, I want to back up in a minute, because I really like the way you started this, because what we're talking about is inner work, shadow work, balancing polarities, a higher vantage point of, but the thing is, to the point you were making about this morning is, the higher we go, every time which means we can now look at the landscape of our lives, basically, and see things that we didn't see before, and this is, I think, really important. I really want to talk to you about this because of the way you describe it in terms of searching in the etherical, you know, the non-physical, but also the physical. So from the whole wealth of our experiences, conscious and not, we can go looking for this stuff, which are the keys to our elevation. You know, one of the reasons I find this really interesting this morning is because from this seat that I sit in, I don't really get to surf a lot. I do a lot of posting in the Soulogy group and on my page and on the SoulogyOneStudios page. So I see I'm exposed to a lot of things like we all are. And
Right.
every day when we get on, every day when we get on social media or wherever we go, we're being shown things which is really made directed at us. I mean, obviously, it's an inside job. But anyway, what I'm noticing is there's been a rise recently, at least from my point of view, in people having to be right. You know, their way is the way, which means you got to point somebody else out as wrong. And I find it kind of interesting because we've seen these fluctuations in the light worker circles over the last couple of years, especially 2018 and this past year. But it's all good because what goes up comes down and so on. I'm not throwing rocks at anybody, but I'm finding it interesting that people are being triggered and into this extreme pious self-righteousness, and I know that it's just our higher self setting us up for a good kick in the ass, basically. But you talk about that this is the main component in the equation of this elevation, levitation, ascension, and you said there's different ways to do it. One of the things I think that you were saying is that you can go into the Akash, what some people will call the Akash, you know, others might just call dimension or whatever, but you can go into the non-physical and align these things / heal these things and, you know, balance the polarities of these things, or however you want to put it. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. Look, you've said a lot that I also want to talk about that I love. But to the last part, yeah, you know, it's all seemingly physical out here, but truly at a level, right? It's all light photon particles and ether playing and dancing and weaving and grooving, and it's all, you know, focusing in from what we are focused on and how it's going to present itself. So, you know, where there's 7 billion possibilities in one moment, if I can pause and stop time, maybe I close my eyes and I go, you know, God, like on the way here to the center, my solar plexus was like, just like gripping down.
What did it say?
Right? And yeah, and it's gripping down as I look up and they're doing some light work, you know, the electrical lines, and there's this orange sign that says grounding, you know, one of those like roadwork sign, and it's hanging above me, and I'm like, okay, so we're grounding up high in the ether on the electrical lines. That's one point, but that's because in my reality, that's what I was ready to see.
Right.
So I'm aware of the dance, you know, that's going on out here. So when I feel that pull, that grip on my solar plexus, you know, I closed my eyes when I got to the center, did the untangling, unwinding, saw all this, pretty much what you just spoke about, the spiritualized ego that's coming to a head and about to collapse on itself, because, you know, we're at the point where we're all telling the same message, and it's great because each one needs to hear it from certain person, certain channel, certain speaker. But we're about to drop that facade where we all really are the one, you know, speaking to each other. And it's so beautiful. It's a cosmic orgasm. So
yeah. Yes, I like this conversation. This is
and that's what you showed me with the image. I was meditating with you all this morning, because that's pretty much all I do is just sit around, meditate, watch things unravel, unreal, reset, open my eyes, watch how it's really setting itself up in the community that's arriving around me.
Yeah.
Around all of us. We're all showing up for each other. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, this is good. No, I love the way you just cut right through it, man. That's exactly where we're at. And you know, it's so crazy because, you know, oneness is oneness, period. And anything else is an excuse. It's an excuse for our ego. I'll throw myself in there. But I
Totally.
think what you're talking about is the identities, further identities. As we level up, we discover we have more identities that we've got to let go of, and and I think that's pretty fascinating. Now, you've been in the what I would call the what energy practitioner healthcare side for 20 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you've been able to see the evolution of spiritual or energetic practice, because I'm married to a practitioner. We've been together going on 5 years, so I was never exposed to it till then, but I've been able to actually watch how it's evolved, especially over this last year. So I would imagine what you were doing 20 years ago is no different than what you're doing today, even like
It
getting into
is.
this new technology that you've
Right.
brought down. But what I wanted to say is, or ask you is, if you look at this past few months or even the past few weeks, are you seeing any type of notable change in your clientele or in people in general out there in the field?
Yes. 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 So, like you said, for 20 years, it was the same thing, leading these ascension retreats, leading these, experiences with people, doing sessions with people, helping them to understand how to communicate with their own consciousness. And then about 2 years ago, Spirit was like, put the brakes on, no more doing sessions. You have to just strictly train people. We need you to make this technology. And I'm like, okay. So followed instructions and made this app, and pretty much, that's what they have me on, is really working the collective, and we're all doing it, and it's all going to happen regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But and it already has happened. That's the funniest part.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, in the past month, what I'm noticing is that those that I sit with, I just call them mentorships, learning how to drive the ship, drive the plane of existence that you are occupying. I'm seeing that we finally are at a position where we are in the observation station, where we're like your God, goddess, oversoul, all these high level words, whatever, these big packets of you, the
Yeah.
etherical presence that you are, is dropping down in our bodies, and we
Yeah.
have nothing to say. I can't, I'm just like, I'm going to hold space.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. The words are going away. Even for this call, I was like, spirits yesterday, like, you've got to start doing these. And I'm like, okay, but what if I have nothing to say? And this morning they were laughing and just, saying, just you guys getting together and lighting up the Christmas tree together is what you all are doing. And you're grounding in the lines. So now should I speak? Yeah. So, where I used to pull away from the electricals, in the form, I would maybe not sleep with my head facing the electrical plug. I would go away from it. Whereas now Spirit's like, no, we want you in that. We want you to reoccupy it. And that was that orange sign when I was driving here. It's like, you guys, it's time to ground in the lines. And you are the new living librarians they talk about. For a lot of us doing this Akash work, we've done our cleanup. There's still stuff to clean up. This morning when I sat with you and Morgan, you guys showed me that cosmic picture of Alex Gray that you posted yesterday. And you were showing being this God, goddess, like godparents almost, and that you really are birthing these new higher self children, which is all of us who are ready to say, okay, I don't really know what to do now. And how do we do it together? And how do I, to reflect with others to learn about how to drive when an oversoul consciousness drops in your body and you don't even have control over yourself at some level.
Yeah, it's interesting that you're saying this, what just happened to you, because we commune every night when we go to bed. We put our hands together and we just see what happens. Last night was very, very cool as usual, but after the all the soulgasms, then I was just kind of like went into my own thing, and I was sitting there and I saw these faces, which I've seen before. Okay, I've seen before, and they've come to identify themselves as complexes, not individual souls, and so on and so on, higher dimensional. And it's all me. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at. But anyway, last night, there were some pretty scary ones. I mean, and I've seen scary ones before, but these were I'm like, okay. So this one came. Now I'm talking about the stuff that was put before me, and I'm speaking that this is me. I'm looking at. or me and Morgan somehow. I don't know, but I mean, there's the composites of what we are. So there was reptilian, there was dragon, there things I don't even know what they were, and there was a couple of them that came in, and it was all about unity and oneness. You either are, or you aren't. There's no in between. So I was like, okay, I guess we're going to go through one of these drills again. And then they appeared, and they like wanted to give me this download, and it felt very different because it wasn't a heart download. It was, not that anything's not, but I mean, it was actually coming straight into the third eye, into the crown. I could see the colors of it. I could see the information. I don't know what it said, but I knew it was massive. But my point is that the human brain, the human mind came in and was like, wait a minute, is this okay? What are you doing? I'm like, no, there are no exceptions. And I allowed it, and I think that's where we're at. And to include these egoic outbursts we see, or things that make us uncomfortable in others, that's really a reflection of something in ourselves that we haven't accepted, Yeah. So yeah, this is good. Now you go ahead.
So truth, was that connected? So when we laid down last night, my daughter and I, she was seeing those faces, she was seeing those experiences, and I was seeing just more as dragon consciousness. So I pretty much dream my day before, or like week before, a month before. And so my dream state was with us, and we were, and this is after, her laying in bed with her, telling her it's okay, just, you're safe, I'm here with you, we're going to go to sleep right now. And so in the dream time, I'm rescuing her and other children in this game, which, we're in a game, from these reptilian consciousness that had a hold on the brain. And what they showed it to me was like Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to that. But they had a hold on the brain, and on these children's brain, especially because they thought the game was something that it wasn't. And it had to do with like manipulation, control.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And so I brought the children out and got them, out of this building, and showed them that, that's just one reality. And then they burst the brain open, like how they show in Alzheimer's, is just on one pathway for so long. And then when they do like DMT or something, and it bursts into new pathways, which is what we're doing. We're levitating consciousness into these new pathways. And the more of us that become super conscious and deliberate, and that was the message this morning, about being deliberate with our thoughts and our speech. And we know this, but to really understand that we are literally like, where there's no road in front of you, I go ahead and think something, and the road is there. It shows up. We're literally making new continents, is what Spirit talks about.
Yeah.
So, it's getting where our inner child was hijacked into fear. And, just like all of us are doing the shadow work. Yeah. That's what's getting us to the gate to be these, what they call Stargate birthing portal beings.
Yeah, I get that. And even like when we come together, like right now, we're creating a third energy.
Yeah.
By virtue of our intentions. And I think that was a big thing that came up for me today as I was watching and reading some of these things that were being shown to me specifically. And the first thing I'm doing is, okay, where are you at with this? So where's your ego at? What's up with you? But I was thinking, it's because I was watching people kind of argue when there was no argument to be had. Like you said, we're all saying the same thing. We just happen to be, it's kind of like people that are attached to copyright, trademark, I mean, this stuff is all going away. There's no middle ground. It's all or nothing. It's either a free universe or you're in the owned universe. Anyway, to kind of conclude all that, last night I couldn't sleep after all this happened. We had our hands together. There was a lot of energy coming through those chakras. It was very soulgasmic. And then I came out of it, and I had all these things appear, these aspects of me, the universe appear. And so then I got up and I walked around a little bit, and I ended up getting up again later. But the point is, I had a lucid dream throughout the whole night. And in the lucid dream, I was in a psychiatric hospital. Yeah. And I was in a psychiatric hospital. So I was in the virtual reality, in
Yes.
the body of God, goddess, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I
I
was
know.
in that space that you're talking about, these kids and all of us were hoodwinked to be in. And I'm in this space, and the first thing I did was I got aggressive. And this has been a big lesson for me. So I thought, oh, wait a minute, I know that doesn't work. So let me try something else. So then I just tried to play the game with them and do everything right. And like they were one step ahead of me. And I'm like, you know what? F this. You know, I am sovereign. And I just, after all this stuff happened, I just got up and I walked out and nobody
Mm,
said a word, you know? And all
yeah.
I could think of and really see was how big my field was and how I commanded this space, which was, I think, part of the message too, as the individual goes, so goes the collective, but was that we don't realize how big our field is.
Yeah. That's it. And it's about, about a year ago, I got the message to start reoccupying the plane. And I'm like, an airplane? And they're like, no, the plane, the whole ether, occupy it. It's yours. Stop, getting
Yeah,
small and squeezing yourself out of it. Get bigger and spread back out. But be willing, like you did, like be willing to stand up and walk away,
yeah.
go do your inner work, and then come back out. That's been the biggest yumminess for the past couple of weeks, is realizing, wait, I can just stand up and walk away, close my eyes, do the work, find out where this projection is me and
Yeah.
how I can integrate it and accept it and do the big merger. And then I come back and that being is different or the scene is different. But there's something to that, just standing up and knowing that we can get up and walk away.
That's right.
Because, yeah,
It's like, you know, and today I think it must be a really special day. What is today? The 20th?
yeah,
Oh
tomorrow's
my
the day.
God, man. I'm having a honeymoon on solstice, man. That's going to be
Us
really
too,
cool.
us too.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but today I go in and I have a routine, and the routine is I usually check the memories, right? Because then it's easy for me to like recycle stuff and I don't have to go because I don't have the time. And I had all this stuff come up, like, I mean, all these posts and videos and just stuff going back 6, 7, 8 years. And I was a little bit surprised. I met Morgan in September of 2015, and I started to get introduced to Galactic, and I started all the stuff. I was just on my own,
Right.
solo lone wolf warrior out in the streets, you know. But I looked at some of the stuff that I was writing, and that's what it was talking about. It said, I am soul, you know, you cannot kill me. I am fearless of dying and I'm fearless in my living. You know, I mean, it was like just a very raw kind of thing, but that's the energy, that the prevalent energy and the expanding energy that I think that's happening. And that's why I don't look at these egoic outbursts, be it myself or someone else, as a bad thing. What I do see it as is they're actually stepping into their power, and like a pendulum. They go a
Yeah.
little too far, and then, you know, then it starts to level off, you know. So I think we've done a hell of a job, and I think it's time to give ourselves a little credit. And I think going into this 2020, well, I'll be seeing you, you know. I mean, I think it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think it's time to start having these soul gatherings, because it's not what we say, it's the intention, you know, the soul coordinates. And when you put them in the same geographical location on the holy grid, something happens. Because I'm living proof of it.
Yeah. Nebula. Totally. And, because we're holding these pillars and we're literally holding the plane. We're holding heaven on earth into place, and like a fabric for others to walk up in themselves on.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. So tell us about what you're doing down in Sarasota.
Oh, well, there's a conference, Waves of Light. It's a kind of a nucleus of some people. They did one last year on a cruise ship. But anyway, so we're at Siesta Key Beach, Sarasota, Florida. It's called Waves of Light Conscious Conference. There's the 17th, 18th, and 19th. There, wavesoflight.org. Anyway, Morgan and I are giving a keynote on Saturday night, the 18th, and then Sunday we're giving a workshop, and those are on shadow work and sacred union and sacred sexuality.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a soulgasmic conversation and workshop. I'm kidding. No, but it's yeah, so we're going to be there, but we're also either on the 15th or the 16th going to have a Soulogy gathering.
Oh, cool.
Somewhere between Tampa and Sarasota. And
I'll
so
be there.
I'm gonna reach out to you. There's a lot of people that have already expressed interest. Patrick McCormick and his partner, and just a lot of people. Jake, a few other people. But anyway, that's what we're gonna be doing there, and whatever comes spontaneously, you know.
Awesome. Hopefully something can happen up here, up in Tampa Bay. It's Palm Harbor. It's probably like,
I know where
I
you're
don't,
at. I
yeah,
lived
okay.
there. I lived there 3 times. Yeah, I know
Oh,
exactly where you're
cool.
at. Yeah, I lived there. I lived in Lutz, and I lived in Land O'Lakes or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tampa.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and if not, we can Clearwater. You know, we'll find a spot. We'll find a spot, and we'll get some people together. And you know, we've done it before, and it's always a lot of fun. You know, people come in, and we just improvise everything. I'll do a little rap, and we'll do some commentary, maybe do an interview like this, and then maybe people come up and do light language or play an instrument or whatever. We just make it up as we go, and we film it. So
Awesome.
we expect you to be there with your app.
I will totally be there with the crew.
Yeah, I
A
want
large
to. I
crew.
want to. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. Let's save that. Let's save that for about another 10 or 15 minutes because I want to.
Okay.
I want to make sure that we cover a few other things. Let's see. Just wish the Waves of Light conference. I'm very open, and I love Valerie. Wasn't 2,000 between the conference fee and the hotel? I'm not really sure how much the hotel is. I haven't been involved in that, but I do know that there's a 2-for-1 deal now. It's, I want to say $1,200 for 2 people, or maybe 12 between 12 and 1,400 for 2 people. But then I guess there's also the hotel fee or lodging. Now thank you for asking me about that.
Yeah.
So let's get back to you now. And now you have a daughter.
Yes, I do. She's 9.
So yeah, oh my God. Let's talk about that for a second. What's it like going through this expansion and having a daughter in the middle of these 20 years? And what goes on with that? What's
It's
she
a
like?
trip. It's a total trip because, you know, our children are our future selves, and she showed up with a lot of resistance, a lot of things of those, you know, butting of heads to clear up, and things that highlighted that I hadn't really addressed yet as mother, as caretaker, especially around mothering, you know, because as we wake up to the ascension, like each of these children are coming in, they have always come in, we've come in brilliant geniuses. And so it's like giving them space to be exactly who they are, and choice, and not going with the old wave of parenting that we have to control and manipulate and, you know, really guide them. They have all the wisdom to share. So as she's come into her 9, she's definitely come out of the headbutting into homeschooling at my house, and that's been a joy because we just get to live, and she lives, breathes everything I'm doing. She's right there experiencing it, doing yoga with me, meditating, listening to all these kinds of conversations with people. And then I walk away, and, you know, I hear her talking to her friends, you know, whether it's on a game saying they're teleporting, or on another, you know, just conversation of, oh, now you have to understand everything comes from within. And, you know, you hear her advice going to all these other.
At 9 years old. Wow.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow. But isn't that amazing too, you know, and I know that people I know I'm older than you, I'm significantly older than you, but I mean, so we're talking what, probably 35, 40 to 65, 70. This, I don't want to say first wave, but these communities that have sprouted up years ago, whatever. And it's so amazing the level of channeling, downloads, and transmissions that each person can pull down, because everybody has a piece.
Yeah.
And then the challenge of the 3D remnants that are still attaching, which is always the hard one to me, was the kids. And I raised 6 kids, partially, or most of the time. And I had the same experience. 2 young teenage girls at the end, single parent. They were 11, 12, going into puberty. I had them about 3 years at the end there, and oh my God, you know, what a torturous ride for the 3D aspects that needed to die, but what a beautiful awakening for a 5D, you know, warrior coming into his own by allowing these incredible young souls and feminine spirits to run freely. You know, and I often say the house was an absolute mess, but the energy was incredible.
Yeah, it is. They're creating our future right here. And when we give them that option, that choice and the space to do it, you know, I just watch her lights go off every day with all her creations. It's just like, yeah, go for it. So,
And so have
yeah.
you been in the Tampa area all your life? Have you been?
I have. I was actually conceived on a little island here called Honeymoon Island. I highly recommend you guys visit that if you haven't gone to it.
What is it?
Honeymoon Island.
Honeymoon Island. Where's that at?
It's right here in Palm Harbor. It's real close. So
Palm Harbor. Palm
this
Harbor's
way.
north of Clearwater, right? Palm Harbor.
Yeah, it's just a little bit north of Clearwater.
Yeah. I've been there. I had somebody that lived there that we used to go see. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
I've been all over that area. But so you've been there your whole life. There is some type of, and I guess there is everywhere, but
Totally.
I know I was called there 3 times, and I've been around it enough, not just that area in particular, but the entire state, you know, and even southern Georgia. But I know there's portals everywhere, but there seems to be something really powerful about that Clearwater down to Sarasota area, that latitude. There seems to be something really powerful about it that I noticed in the times I've been there, not just had the extreme light, but had extreme dark. Kind of
Totally.
like Vegas or New York City, you know, when I walk the streets of New York City. But was that your experience there?
It's definitely there. It makes me think of the 144 anchors along the coast here from the fleet of the Atlantean times. There's these big boulders, and you'll see the etchings out of the actual rope. There's one in front of this center that we're at. I think they definitely anchored down when there was a collapse in the Atlantean times, and a lot of us were here kind of just off the boat. And when I am told why we're here, it's kind of like we're here to revive that part of ourselves those codes that we knew of, and then make these communities again. You know, so, you know, it's so funny with longitude lines and even like looking at places anymore, because now that we realize that we're really creating all this.
Yeah.
And that at some level, we just kind of create the state of Florida and create all these places. But yeah, you know, there are remnants left off for us to tag into and to understand what was going on, maybe just through feelings.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what I love about this work, is that as you recollect your essence, you know, this plasma, these photon light particles, plasma, soul essence, they're kind of all the same. As you recollect them and you illuminate and you embody again, you have like this new bank account, this plasma rich bank account. And that's what they were talking to me this morning about, is like how important it is for everybody to clean out your garage, clean out your shed. Everyone that I meet ends up getting an RV, you know, letting go of all their belongings. It's kind of the whole funny joke. Funny joke.
Happening. Yeah.
You know, so like the lighter your load, the more you can let go of realizing that actually you have it all everywhere whenever you need it. And you clean those sheds out and you clean out the etherical shed, you know, you have this plasma to go, I need, you know, a Big Mac truck to show up to come drive these tiny homes to those people, you know, whatever it is. And it shows up and you're just like, wow, that was so fast. And it just, because it can, you're becoming such a wonderful alchemist to know how to work with these light particles. And it's where we don't look at those things and we're looping in confusion and delusion, and we don't go lay down when we get knocked out and get the download from whoever, the dragons, whatever it is, you know, that's where we're missing the boat. It's like, use those experiences to clean it up and clean it and, you know, integrate it. Mostly there's nothing to fear.
I think that's a good point too, because it has been, everyone has a different role, you know, and some of these things are literal, and they're all energetic. So in the human experience, some are literal and some are figurative. So, you know, I you know, everybody knows I've been on the road for quite a while, and now Morgan's been able to stay, you know, and we're doing it together. And more people are doing it. I was just watching Rick Gers this morning. He's in Tel Aviv, you know, and he's like, you know, Israel, and he's just like, you know, Wherever the Father tells me I'm going next. I mean, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Can you imagine him pulling up to a border, this bearded guy that looks like an old leprechaun, you know, a spelunker, and they're like, "What are you doing, sir? Why do you want to come to the country?" "I'm on a mission from God. You know, I'm here to spread the light." I mean, this guy, you know what I mean? But it's happening now, and more people are doing it. And I got to say too that I think it's important to bring these things up, like you brought up, because there is, what did you say earlier about, you know, you can kind of be told something, but if you got to experience it, you got to do it. You know, that's how we actually do this, is we actually we actualize all the stuff that we pull down, whatever you want to call it, all the energies, plasma, whatever, and we actually embody it and actually do it. To me, this is the new library. To me, this is the new good book, the new template, the new blueprint. This is the way it's been explained to me and to Morgan when we're together communing. You know, here's a template. This is, let's say this was the Yeshua Magdalene template. This is one of the missions you have. Now, you have it, now go expand it. And that's true for every other cosmic archetype being, you know, reinstituted or implemented into this incredible realm that we're in. And I know you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very cool.
A couple things you just said I just want to touch on before we're complete. But, you know, one is, yeah, we each have to show up and do this, you know, because even I'll go through my head like, well, why do you want me to do this? Everybody's doing it. It's fine. We're good. No, each of you have to embody and show up to give it how you're going to deliver it. So there was that. And then just speaking to these levels of consciousness, these aspects of ourself, you know, yes, we all have you know, I like to use this example. So, you know, you're this droplet of God consciousness. You're dropped into a starlight. You're dropped into a body. People look at you. You're going, you know, ooh, this is beautiful. And people are like, oh, look at the little baby. Oh, look at the little Elasa. Oh, look at this teenager. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And we keep adopting these aspects of ourselves. Oh, we're the Palladians. Oh, I'm all these things. And we are. And so what I would just want to kind of remind us about is, for me, my personal experience is I'll get a nudge at any moment. It's a body visceral thing for me. And I'm like, what's this? Who is this? Yeah. And an aspect of myself will show up, whether it's me as a child, me as a, you know, like an ego form, like an archetype, whether it's me as a dragon, me as, you know, Mary Magdalene, anything and everything can show up. Source consciousness is the most recent, you know, that's mostly comes in. And that part of me wants to teach me something and have me embody it. So, and that's the whole reveal of us all just being all of this all along. But
yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree with you, you know, and I think that you know, there's so many streams of experience that are occurring. Can you go over like 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like so many streams occurring for each one of us, you know, so many things that are playing out. And so they're playing out as they come in, but they're also playing out as we come to the point, because we have to eventually, you know, actualize it, embody it, and do it, you know. Right. And one of those things is how, which I find interesting about you, because I can see you're very balanced, and I'm not comparing you to anyone else. I'm just saying, well, you've got some longevity there on the linear time frame, like Morgan does. You know, she's got 20 years like you do. And so I think that gives you a little bit more time to catch yourself, right? Because, you know, when you pull something in, you're like, oh, wow, I'm so smart. I can't believe I just wrote that, you know? And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, you're just the conduit. But part of it is the detachment from these power-ups, you know, these power downloads, the detachment, you know, because for many people, and I was like that the first 2 years. I had specific messages coming from specific ascended masters, and yeah, it's totally understandable that the human aspect would be like, oh, you know, I'm one of these guys, you know, but we're just limiting ourselves, you know, when you talk about, well, which aspect is it? And it could be a shadow archetype, and it could be a powerful dragon, and it could be Magdalene, and it could be anything, but it's you. It's that aspect of you, and I think you explained that so well. I want to give you time to talk about this app, but I also want to talk about, somebody just mentioned it, Solterra. Are you
Yeah.
affiliated? Are you affiliated with Solterra? What is Solterra? Where is it located? What does it do?
Okay, so Solterra is a grounding space. It's a space that holds these sound journeys, these ascension experiences, retreats. I'm here right now. So classes, go on. We really don't call them classes anymore. It's more of an experience. We're not here to teach anything. We're just here to help people, give them an experience to go within, find their own truth. And the most recent one, like I said, is these sound journeys. They're just yum. They're the back door to consciousness.
Yeah.
They're pure tones that come through, and a couple of us will walk around the room. One will be playing instruments, light language. It's yummy.
Yeah.
And just helping people have these activations in a very normal setting, not like you have to go off to some place. It's like, can we have a space where we can just really actually come in and commune together and reflect back to one another?
Is it by chance in Clearwater on the water?
We had one there, but now we're up in Palm Harbor. Yeah.
Okay, now you're in Palm. Okay, so because I remember I met Jeremy McDonald like when I came off the streets like 6 years ago, and I'm pretty sure that's where he was doing some stuff. And I remember getting an invitation to go speak there a long time. Of course, I didn't have any money at the time, or a car, or anything, so that wasn't going to happen. But I think it was the same group, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know Jeremy?
I know a Jeremy, but I'm not good with names, so it could be
Yeah,
McDonald.
me either. Yeah, me too. I'm not either.
They go in and out so fast.
Yeah, he's one of the people involved with Waves of Light. Well, that's cool. We'll have to go check that out.
We would love to have you for an experience here, guiding experience, whatever it is. Let's be spontaneous about it and tune in.
I'm all about collaboration. I went to an incredible sound bathing, and I've been to a few, and they don't really interest me. I'm not a typical light worker, but I went to one. That's not fair. I've only been to about 4, but they were very traditional kind of things, and I just
traditional.
Yeah. So I went to one, and I have a really good friend, Jason Jade Lyons in Sedona, and his buddy Neil and Ty. And anyway, I went back there and saw him again just a couple of months ago, and they had one. Now he plays the gongs, they have the drums, they had a didgeridoo, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And oh my God, and I filmed the whole thing. I filmed it live. Oh my God, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. So I'm open to it.
Yeah, I was seeing you filming. I was seeing sound journeys. I think I told Morgan, but let's do it.
Absolutely.
We travel. If you want to do it outside, we'll have like 3 or 4 guides come, and we bring all our bowls, all our gongs, all our instruments, and we just do light language, a lot of whispering.
Yeah, that's it. I'm all for it. I'm all for the collaboration. So
for some reason, there's a back door.
Huh?
Yeah.
What was that?
I lost you for a second.
No, I just said I'm all about collaborations, and I'm all about filming everything, because I believe that we need to get these frequencies out there.
And that's the whole for us too. At Solterra, it's kind of switched gears to a filming studio. This is everything we do is supposed to be live. Everything we do this December has been offline because we've been resting, but it's all about the new film, and the new master is Todd. Like, hey, Todd's here. Elasa's here. We're all here.
Yeah.
And so like we're walking, and we've got to film these new stories, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's absolutely, people, a lot more people are starting to film stuff, and people will hit me up because I've been doing it so long, and I'll tell them, don't just turn on the live and do it. Don't rehearse it. Don't rehearse it. Don't edit it. Just turn it on live, because there's something about that I think is what you were talking about earlier, that we all have to do it. And I think if you film it, and then you're going to edit it, and no, just put it on live and go for it, because that's the truth frequency.
Well, that's the third, like you talked about. That's the 3. That's the Trinity. Us coming together. We're birthing and literally opening up and creating a road right in front of us called this now moment.
Yeah.
So people get to experience it in this now moment. It's like I can, it just looks crisp, doesn't it? When you're live, it looks really crisp.
Yeah, it does. I want to talk about this app. Let me just say this real quick to everyone, because I got to remember to get into the habit of this. We are going to Morgan and I are going to head down to Florida, to Tampa, Sarasota area. And I'm not sure, but I would say right after the first of the year. And we're going to go through New Orleans, and we're going to go through like Mobile, Pensacola, Gulfport, probably up through Jacksonville and go down, But anyway, I just letting everybody know, if they want to have a coffee or something, and do a little filming and show the world how nothing raises hell like the light. We'll be glad to accommodate you. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this app, because for two reasons. One, because we want to know about it, and two, because this to me is an energetic. There's a lot of energetic parallels. This is, a lot of people talk about new technology, and they think about spaceships, and this to me, the new technology is the code people like you and like Morgan have been pulling down for years and years and years, and now it's all coming to a head, because I know you guys waited for a long time, and everybody's caught up now. I mean, that's just my opinion, that's my take on it, but where are you at with this? What do you think about that, and what is this app? How did it happen? What's it doing, and what's it going to do?
Okay, so this app, like many that are coming through, is holding a frequency. So just downloading it, what Source says is it literally up levels that frequency for that person and gets them into gear for going ahead and working on themselves. So we all have the ability to work on ourselves. You can drop into meditation, but what's happening with this, the Schumann resonance being off the Richter, being on whiteout most of the time, that's heaven. And we've grounded it. And so this whiteout, has large packets of information. So sometimes you might need a little help getting and understanding what the heck is this packet, because not is it just delivering you one timeline. Usually if you've done enough work on yourself, you're like getting packets that are delivering, thousands of timelines at once, all kinds of different experiences, entanglements with multifaceted, multidimensional realities. So what it does is it just gives you a readout of what's going on connected to that intention. And most of us are in the activation phase, who I come in contact with. It's like activation, 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 where you are ready to birth, new light because of your work you've done on neutrality and perspective giving. But some people may need to do some shadow work with it. So they're just cleaning up, old stuff, meaning it highlights mother, father, 4 years old, sabotage, oppression, whatever the words are. There's many charts on there. Who, what, when, where, why are the charts. And there's many more charts through the years that got added on. And the yummiest chart I love is the powers chart. And so it's all of our superpowers coming back online. And so when you do a record, you can also see what power is going to be liberated again. How are you, you're going to be up leveled. So when you bring the essence back through the clearing statement, which all of us just breathing and being willing to accept and receive, it doesn't matter the words. Sometimes it does. Spirit sometimes has this very specific on which word will actually seal the deal. Yeah. But, when you bring this essence back from those entanglements in the reality, then you have that new bank account of plasma to go ahead and say, well, no, this is what's going to happen now. And you own it and you birth it. And that's the reality. You might need to walk away for a second, like I said, and come back to the situation. Yeah. But I'm birthing things left and right instantly now. I've got my superpowers back because I use them ethically. And that's another point, is that I had to work with so many people to get, even like the 100th monkey to allow to do certain stages of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm still in development. Like I couldn't have it be free yet because it wasn't ready. There's certain people who are working with it and making best use of it because it's very sacred technology. So it's just a tool that Source specifically wanted to be created and brought forth so that I could graduate and go to my next post and kind of pass on the tool that had come through the years. Absolutely. So it's so young.
I like this. And I get a lot of people come at me with different stuff, and I'm just, I don't know, I don't pay attention to a lot of things because I really just I'm like you, I don't know names. I just kind of, I look at the energy and I know that person, right? But I guess what I'm saying is that I really like your explanation and your understanding and your creation of like even using the term Akasha. You know, I like how you include in that field, you include everything. It's not just the, you know, the downloads from our galactic past or futures and our, you know, it's the crap. It's what the human would see as crap. It would be the traumas, you know, where, look at the gold that was there. Look at the genius that created this divine, you know, occurrence.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's amazing. I look back at the things that I went through. I look at things that other people went through that have been on this show from a human perspective, so much heavier than what I did, you know. And I think, wow, look at that person. Look what they've done, you know. Is another example is Morgan, you know, does sessions, and she had a lady yesterday that the reason she contacted her was because we had done one of the shows we had done or whatever. She was talking about almost flippantly about how she had been molested from like 3 to 13, you know,
Yeah.
raped and all that. And the way that she had expressed it, this lady knew that she had overcome it. Even though that wasn't what the show was about, she knew that she had overcome it. And I thought that was really powerful. But that's what I'm talking about. That's to me where you know, we looked at all this fluffy love and light stuff, and that's great, you know, and that's fantastic. I think that's our wake up. Like, this is who you are, hello. But it's that the meat and potatoes, the grind comes from this being the human. That's why I say the human is the hero, because we're doing it. We did it, and now we need to do it. Now we need to level up. And I think a tool like this is a great tool. Where can people find it? How do they find you? And anything else that, if there's anything you want besides the two things I just asked you, if there's anything you'd like to do, you know, I don't know, light language, blessing, activation, more commentary, whatever, you're more than welcome to do it. The floor is yours. But I would like to know where you can find it, where they can find you, and maybe even put the links in the comments. I think would be very helpful as well when you're done.
So I'd love to do an activation, and that's what Spirit had shown that would happen with today. And so you can find this app on your Google Play or your iTunes store. Akashic Soul is the basic version. So if you've never, you know, heard about doing shadow work, or you've never heard about the Akash, I don't jump too deep. Just stay simple. Simple's yummy. Simple's an enlightenment. You know, don't feel like you have to rush. You don't want to be deer in the headlights and knocked over. The pro version is got more charts. It's more in depth for those healers out there, those light workers, those sound journey people. Everybody who's been doing the work, this is a great tool for you to really know how to, you know, unpack a large packet of light when it comes in, for yourself and for the collective. I'm doing 40 days right now to the first of the year for the collective to experience bliss state. And that's the one record that I you know, pulled up this morning. And so it's got a lot to do with us, like I said, cleaning out our shed, cleaning out the etherical shed, all those storage houses, anywhere where we've trapped energy that's ready to come home and allow for your full embodiment. So let me just have us tune in and drop in. And I'm gonna get just an instrument. So as you tune in, as you drop in, be willing to open your heart. I am opening my heart. I am ready for experiencing my heart as the gateway. So as you open the heart, I want you to become aware also of your thyroid. It's a beautiful gland, a beautiful spiral of light at your throat. Allow your breath to move any energy and expand any awareness around the throat, around the heart. And as we deepen our breath and bring more awareness down the central channel and allow the awareness now to go beyond the throat and beyond the heart to the space around your body. Allow the breath to move and bring awareness to the space in the subtle bodies. Opening up awareness to the beautiful subtle body called your causal body. This seventh subtle body, this energy body, it's ready to yoke open even further. And so as you become aware of the space beyond this subtle body called the causal body, stretch wider and farther and open up space in the 9th and the 10th, 11th and 12th. And in this now moment, as we breathe and bring awareness and light into these higher subtle bodies, allow the beautiful spacious you, your space consciousness, to bring you in an activation, an illumination into these higher subtle bodies, so that you, my dear, can allow for what you think, what you speak, what you be, to expand more unity, more neutrality, and more gifts for yourself and for all the children to experience this grace and this ease. In this final breath, bring your deep, deep gratitude to yourself. Bring your hands to a prayer. Feel yourself expanded and lifted. Give honor to yourself for all that you've been, all that you ever will be, and be willing to show up. Be willing to walk the path, to get up and go do that thing. The road will open as you walk. The road will open as you walk. The road will open as you walk. I love you. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you. And do you do anything online? Do you do like courses or some people have like Zoom meetings, like on. I do. So they can find that on the link, the Soulterra Wellness. Okay. And I do as much as yeah, go ahead. So who is Soulterra Wellness? Is that you or is that a group of, that's you? Yeah. It's me with other practitioners that have gone through what we call Soul School. Okay. And they all lead the journeys here, the ascension experiences, along with myself. And so this 2020 year is going to be off the Richter with a lot of filming. Like I said, we've got a crew coming in to film when you all are going to be here. Really? To film the movie of what we're all doing. Wow. So they'll be using all the footage that we took of all the journeys of the past, I think 6 months was when we got the download. Wow. And so we're just following I definitely want to find out more about this. So we'll have to stop by and do a day or two of filming over there. And you can sleep here if you'd like. There's, yoga massage tables or yummy beds below. There's a blow-up mattress. We'd love to have you. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not concerned about that part. The reason I started stuttering, somebody asked if they'd spell out the name of the app. Now, I think what she's going to do, and a couple of people did already, but she's going to put up the links for each one of them, like the site, Soulterra, and then anything else. So thank you for that question. But yeah, I'm not worried about that part. One thing I've learned after all this is, it's the same thing you're talking about. I rarely have these issues now of like where I go into fear, with, how are we going to do this? And I had one happen the other day happened for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, who is this? How much magic do you need to see before you become convinced? I mean, but sometimes who's in the field, what part of you, but sometimes I feel like we really do pull in the others' fears. We do. Yeah. We do. Yeah, that's it. That's an interesting observation. Yeah. I know I see it with like Morgan and I. It could be one or the other, Now this is evolved to a point. I mean, like everybody else. I mean, we're
Right.
moving into the solstice and into the 2020, and it's pretty exciting. It really is. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's very true. But you know, all that stuff doesn't seem to be playing anymore. It's like somebody turned it off, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's only here. It's in the field that's, you know, like the RAM in a computer, the short-term memory, because
yes.
of the long-term, it's wiped out, you know. So this is going to be an incredible year. I'm excited. I don't believe in coincidence. I mean, coincidences, you know, I believe this is going to be a very synchronistic beginning of the year as we go down to Florida. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you and doing some more productions, you know, and
Do it.
meeting your indigo crystal child, diamond child, whatever she is. Right. Yeah, very cool.
All
You
right.
take care. Peace out. Thank you
I'll
so
see you soon.
much. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Yeah, we'll see you very
Yes.
soon. Take care.